TMDE, and we're going to talk about, damn it, I fucked it up. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. Deacon, and welcome to TMDE. You catch me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio Line, and Spreaker, all the social media networks. It is what it is, and we about to start the show. I have a very special guest today, Jessica Greer, who is a MSN and BSN and registered nurse and life coach. And me and her was talking earlier. This is like her show, you know. We wanted to talk about, has society made women too masculine? So now that I got you, that's the first. What makes you feel like these women are off the chain right now? So talk to us.
So those are not my words. That women are off the chain, okay? Because Mr. Deacon can, he can be a little abrasive sometimes. I love him, but so I do feel like to a certain extent, society has created this space for women to take more ownership of responsibilities more than what we should, especially when we are in a relationship. When you look at the basic male-female relationship, with the female-female relationship, I don't know, I can't really comment on that and the different dynamics of that. But when I look at a male, you're laughing, but I'm serious.
No, I know you're serious. Go ahead, though.
With a male and female relationship, I feel like society has created this space where we have to feel like we're always responsible for everything. And to be honest, a lot of us don't want to be responsible for everything. But when you look at the background that some of us come from, being a single mother, you don't have a choice, right? But to be responsible for everything. So when we come from that context and then we're trying to create this space and make room for somebody else, it makes it difficult to transition sometimes because we've had to do everything, make sure the kids were okay, the bills were paid, the car is taken care of. And so just releasing some of that ownership and responsibility to someone else that may not do it the way we want it to be done and or that may not do it to our standard makes it difficult for us to release that power, I would say, I'll use the word power, to anybody else. And so another issue is I think society is also trying to keep families apart. They're trying to keep families apart. I'm just
trying to, we get the interaction. No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
They're trying to keep families apart, and we're stronger together, but we have to figure out how to work together as a team, more less of trying to compete for and jockeying for different positions. And I think that's an important part of releasing ownership of things as well, is if you're in a relationship, who's more likely to be able to successfully complete that task or be responsible for that. And I think that's important as well to know.
So women don't, so when we was talking about this earlier, so women don't, my thing is that when we was talking about the masculine, it's like, when I'm walking through Cleveland, I see a lot of females, they they talking to men so disrespectful. Like they got the draws on, and you're supposed to be feminine. Why is that? Why do some of these women right now? Is it because they don't have the father figure, the male figure in the home to teach them this is what you don't do as a woman? What's going on with these women today that they feel like they got to be so macho? I understand the responsibility part, and if you don't have a man, you got to take care of the kids. I get that, but they aura is off. They coming at like they straight lifting weights, like you gonna beat my ass type. So I need to know, that's what we was talking about earlier, how you feel about that.
So I feel like that's dangerous for women to approach in that manner, because most of the time physically men are just stronger. It's just the way we're built physically, they're just a stronger gender. I don't know what's going on. I think it is a combination of males not being in the homes, along with males also not taking the responsibility of being a father and teaching a young lady
the do's and don'ts.
how to behave, along with, again, having to always defend yourself when you don't have anyone there to defend you. Then what do you have to do? You have to defend yourself. And so if you're in a situation where, I know you don't want to go back to this, but seriously, if I'm a homeowner and it's my house and I have my children there and somebody's breaking into my house, well, I don't have anything else to do but to defend my home or let you ravish my home and my children and myself. And so again, it's so much going on in our society right now as far as I think a lot of people have moved from what we would consider traditional roles as far as gender, female and male is concerned. And I think maybe the alpha female role, and it's taken on the responsibility of, okay, so it started with, okay, well, I have to do this, and now it's going more toward.
Okay, but check it out. So once I got it, like you said, if you by yourself, once you have a relationship now and you have the man, they don't stop it. They still trying to be the alpha. You know what I'm saying? It ain't but one dog in the house. It's supposed to be but one dog, and it's not supposed to be the female. Not necessarily. I do believe in a 50-50 type thing, but it's like I said, it's the attitude. And it's the same thing like I was telling you about Kevin Samuels. You know, I don't know, did you get a chance to watch Kevin Samuels yet?
I've watched a couple of them.
Now, what you think about? How you think about it? Do you feel like he dogs some women out?
So I feel like his approach is really abrasive. I feel like it's downright disrespectful at times. But it is.
Okay.
But the issue is,
I agree with you.
But people call into his show knowing this is his behavior and this is his personality, and he is going to
about to get that ass.
Butthole.
Yeah, exactly.
And so when you call in and you know he might be disrespectful, and they call in, then this is what you're going to get, and that's what you should expect. But I do feel like, honestly, a lot of his points are valid.
Thank you.
He has a lot of valid points. But again, I think it's a messenger. It's the way you approach and tell people something is how they'll listen to it. So you can tell people something a certain way and they'll listen. Whereas if you're being just rude and disrespectful, once you're disrespectful, everyone stops listening, because now it's more of a challenge than it is an education or a learning moment at that time. And so I think it's important for people to understand the way they deliver and the way they communicate and deliver the message is important. And so maybe someone in the family, I don't know if a male has seen that young lady behave like that, and maybe another male in the family can take her to the side and say, hey, what's going on? Is it that she just has all this anger and resentment towards men as a whole? If she's never had anyone there, maybe part of it is resentful. She's just resentful. Maybe some of it is she's been molested or abused so much by males that she can't receive any information, or she doesn't understand how to have an appropriate or safe or even like just human interaction with a male that's not so confrontational.
So if you're a woman like that and you've been put through the ringer like that, so a lot of, why is this, it seems like black women, they don't want to go and get help. So you as a life coach, what do you suggest? If you've been battered, you've been abused, you've been mistreated, and now you find yourself with 3 children, and that's the same thing like Kevin Samuels was saying, the odds of them finding a good guy it decreases. So why it seems like black women don't want to be fixed. They they complain about it, but they don't want to go and do nothing about it. Like you said, I need life coach, I need some psychiatric help. They don't want to do. They just continue to fester. Why is that? Why black women don't want to reach out and get help?
I don't honestly think that black women don't want to get help. I think it's just difficult for us to get help because we have so much to do. There's so much weight on our shoulders all the time. And so some of it is, when do we find the time to get help? Maybe no one has approached that person or that woman to suggest that they get the help. Maybe they honestly don't see their behavior and don't see a problem. Again, society is creating this image that it's okay for women all over the world, not just black women, to just yell, I don't need a man. And that's well and good if you're not looking for a man. Yeah. But if you desire at any point to be in a relationship with a man, why put that out there? And words create this space for you to take up, whether it's something that you want or something that you don't want. So when you continue to put that out there, I don't need a man, then whether it's the universe or whether it's God, it's biblical, where it states that, life and death lies in your tongue. Or if you don't believe in God, the universe, what are you putting out there? And so it's important for us not to take on this demeanor that I don't need a man. No, none of us need a man.
That's supposed to be a want. You want to have a healthy relationship. Yeah, I don't need a woman, but I want a woman. You know what I'm saying? And it comes out, that's that narrative, it comes out all the time. Well, I don't need no man. And see, me as a man, well, then fuck you. That's just how I be feeling.
But I think it's a defense mechanism. I think it's a defense mechanism when you have men like Kevin Samuel saying, oh, you ain't gonna never get no man. You look at you a 5 or a 6 at best, and you got these 3 kids and this and that. Well, the issue is, again, finding someone that's your balance.
Exactly.
And that's really important. But before you even try to find anyone that's your balance, you do have to come to the table with a healthy mindset of yourself and where you are and what you do have to offer, and that it's not overinflated or that you don't have low self-esteem. And I think right now what we're seeing is a bunch of extremes. We have the people with really, really low self-esteem that's just taking anything off the street, which is damaging them more. Because now you've accepted this raggedy person that have nothing to offer, not working, ain't working, or as my grandmama used to say, ain't shit, ain't never been shit, ain't never gonna be shit, and trying to put this person together and make them a whole person. You can't make people be something that they're not. And then you have people that's like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I deserve this, I can't take this, oh, he has this, he doesn't have that, he don't have this. And so we're creating these 2 extremes, and we just need to get back in the middle and start communicating with the opposite sex or the same sex, if that's what you're into, but just creating this space where we can actually start to have families again. Because right now you have the men saying women are stupid and they gold diggers and all they want is sex now and they want to be men. And you have the women saying they ain't shit, they ain't never been shit, they only want sex, they sending me D pictures all day and they don't want to date anymore. But you have the men saying, well, I used to date, but now all they want to do is use me for money. So then you just need to find somebody that's a good balance for you. You have alpha women looking for alpha men, but that's not going to work.
It ain't going to work.
That's not going to work because you got to have a balance. So.
Yeah, you got to have some type of submission. That biblically they say the woman should submit. I don't mind my woman having a say. Of course, you're gonna have a say. Wait a minute, why you make that face like that? But I'm just saying, I don't not to treat you like a dog. I don't want you to.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? But you gotta have. But we supposed to be, traditionally the head of the house. Now, like I said, you do want an equal partnership, and most men. But now the times have changed. I don't want no masculine ass chick that's running around here looking like a linebacker from the Cleveland Browns. You know what I'm saying?
You have to look like a linebacker.
Because I've seen them. No, they running around.
But this
Cleveland
is the thing.
You know, but wait a minute.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I got to get to this point too. A lot of things I notice, and we say this at the job at work. How women are their appearance. Some of these women, they got it wrong, Jess. They got it wrong.
What do you mean by they have it wrong?
You know how I feel about the rainbow colors and all of that.
Oh, with the hair?
Yeah. Some of the stuff that. But
tell the truth. Look at my hair. This was a.
That's natural.
Oh my God.
That's natural.
I know it is, but it's a lot of men that wouldn't like that too. So this is the thing. I think people should be. People should be authentic with themselves and be who they want to be. But I think people should take into consideration of who they're trying to attract. That's the whole.
Okay.
Who are you trying to attract? And I think that makes a huge difference. If you are trying to attract someone that is more professional, someone that's more
so you dress like a hood rat, you're gonna catch a hood rat.
On a certain level, then you have to understand when they have these corporate events how anything that wouldn't be appropriate in the work setting for that gentleman probably wouldn't be appropriate for him to take on in a relationship, basically is what I'm saying. But as far as what you said, as far as being submissive, there's nothing wrong. I'm submissive to my husband. But I have a husband that considers my opinion in everything. I trust my husband holistically. And the thing about men wanting women to be submissive is, what am I submissive to? Again, when you choose a male that you don't trust his direction, it's going to be difficult for you to be submissive to that.
You shouldn't be with that man then. They shouldn't be with that.
And that's the point.
Okay.
And sometimes, though, it starts off in a space where women feel like they can trust that person, and then they sort of go off kilter. And other times, they actually take on a relationship with someone that they shouldn't. And so then they're having, there's this conversation now that's really confusing. I've seen it a lot on Facebook with whose plate is being fixed first. And it's like, well, everybody about to sit down and eat. Nobody is eating any food until we all get to the table. So, but
these women want these men to go out here and, what he say, the $100,000 high value man. You know, like, why I gotta be making 100? I get it. You want why you can't make 100,000? You know what I'm saying? Why the shit always gotta be on me? And that's what it's like. You said certain things. What is a woman being submissive to? I get it. But if you making a 60,000, I'm making 60,000. That's 120. We doing pretty damn good.
You are.
Now, so why I got to make 100,000 and you make 20,000, and then you thinking I'm gonna be doing all this for you, and you want the Louis bag and all that? You got me twisted. And that's what Kevin be saying sometimes. So, but if you make 20,000, you need to go find you a dude who make 20,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they goals are not realistic, and then they get upset the fact that they can or cannot find a man like that with that type of clout. And then it's like he said, if I'm making that kind of, what I want your ass for? I can go ahead. It's women out here that's getting it. You getting it. It's women that's handling their business, and they looking for a good man, and they more, to me, wifey material. Then you, like I said, then you got the chicken head that's sitting out here expecting shit and wonder why her world is fucked up. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it is like, you look for this type of person. It's levels to this. You got wifey type women, you got girlfriends, and you got hood rats. Now, you shouldn't be messing with no hood rat if you're gonna get married. That's not something that's realistic, because the hood rat probably gonna stay a hood rat. She gonna run around here, going to the clubs at night, doing all this stuff, don't want to be there for her kids, take care of the kids, and then wonder why, taking her stimulus checks, going to get the bag, like the PPP loans, they just wrong. So where do we go? How do we change the mindset of the black woman, or just any woman? How do we change that mindset?
I think number one is people have to realize what they want out of life. You know, that's the most important key, is to figure out what your goal is. So if we're talking about as far as relationships, then what would your goal be?
These bras don't have no goals, some of them. They don't. Go ahead. I'm my bad.
Okay, well, I think all women do have a goal in mind. You do have some women that are completely fine with being single, and they're just kicking it and they're just doing their thing. And that's okay. And I think another issue, but there shouldn't be any complaints if that's what they want to do. And another issue is, I think, men thinking when they see a woman that woman automatically wants to be in a relationship. Maybe she's behaving like that and she's cool with it and she's fine whether she ends up in a relationship or not. But for a woman that's actually that has decided that they don't need a man but would like a man and would like to be in a relationship, I think the behaviors have to look towards more of, who am I, what's my personality, and what am I looking for? And if I am an alpha female, which a lot of women consider themselves, it's nothing wrong with that, but then have to understand that when we talk about alpha, it's difficult in any relationship to have the same, whether it's two alphas or two betas. And because the alpha is the person that has more power and more influence, and the beta is the person that's more in a supportive role. It doesn't mean in every area, but there can't be two kings or two queens over the household.
So how do you tell an alpha woman to calm her jets then?
I wouldn't tell her. I would ask her to either reconsider if she's looking for an alpha male, because an alpha male doesn't want to compete when he comes in the house. And that's the difference, is that when you come into the house, it should be a place of peace, regardless of what your relationship role is. Whether when I was single and I come in the house, it's supposed to be a place of peace for me and my kids.
No doubt.
Now that I'm married, when we come in the house, it should be a place of peace for my husband and I. And so, if an alpha female is attracted to an alpha male, then she has to consider her ways. And, you know, if she is able to attract the male that she's looking for that is an alpha male, that's a lot of communication they'll have to do to figure out, to jockey for position and figure out what he's looking for. Or she might just consider a beta male. And it's nothing wrong with that, but people consider beta males weak. Beta males are not necessarily weak. They just take a more supportive role in the relationship and in the family. And there's nothing wrong with that.
It must be a lot of betas right. I ain't gonna need I'm an alpha dog. I'm the man. I'm the dog. Ooh, you know what I'm saying? You don't run shit. I just play. I don't want to be the butt.
It's nothing wrong with that. That's the relationship. But relationships as a whole, if you don't have good communication, it doesn't matter. It's not going to take off anyway. And so I think just building a friendship with someone, if they have an interest in deciding to ask the difficult questions, or when you see a female, what type of female are you actually attracted to? When you look at your wife and what you're looking for in a wife, if that's that lady's goal to find a husband, stop dating people that you have no interest in, number one.
Exactly.
And then find out if that's the type of person you see someone, whether it's a uncle or a father, and you like that man's personality, what's wrong with going and saying, hey, you know what attracted you to auntie or to whoever, and see what his perspective is on it.
These chicks, they get mad now when you say like, hi beautiful, or something, or how was your day? And some of them get mad like that. I seen it was something on Facebook, they was talking about, you can't even say like, you know, back in the day, it used to be the courteous thing to do, to say, hey, beautiful, how you doing? How's your day going? And then, well, my day fucked up. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna put on my books? You know, it's the times have changed.
Saying that
man,
to you.
Just I'm trying to tell you, you better get on. I know you're not the social media thing. I'm trying to tell you, I sat these girls be on, especially TikTok.
Have you ever, did you ask, why is that your response to me?
They were saying that it's just like, it's hard for me to explain. I don't know what the hell these women be going through. That's the whole thing. They need a life coach like you. They supposed to be sitting down talking to you. I got this going on in my world. Men keep dogging. Yeah, men keep dogging me. And you know, he came in my refrigerator and took my bacon. And I had some females tell me that the man just came and ate up all this shit and dipped.
Not supposed to be. I know what you're talking about, so you better stop.
I didn't say no names. I didn't say no names.
Listen. So again, this goes back to a woman's choice in a man sometimes. That's all I will say, is that sometimes, again, if you're choosing someone that doesn't work or has lost their job and they are not looking for a new job, and there are jobs out here, there's work out here to be done. And so if you know you're the type that's a go-getter, then you should be in a relationship with someone that's a go-getter.
Exactly.
That could be their professional role, but they could still have a more of a beta personality as far as the role inside the home. And that's what I'm saying. People don't take into consideration the types of people they get into a relationship with. When you get into a relationship with someone that doesn't have goals and just don't do anything. They should have been left
alone at the door because they might be thugged out.
Well, not only that, but those are people that are probably traumatizing a women and making us feel like, or women feel like, you know, ain't no good men out here. So you get into too many relationships with people that we may have chosen, we could have chosen better, then we get traumatized. And then we think that we've moved on, we're just gonna move on, and we haven't dealt with the pain from the previous relationship and the baggage from that, and then we take that, and then the bag just keeps getting heavier and heavier and heavier until you have that.
Yeah, and then you mess around and run into the right guy, and now you done scared his ass off because you haven't dealt with your past issues, your past baggage. These chicks got more bags than Spirit Airlines. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is what it is. But hey, that is our time. We kind of went over it. I know Jessica just had it. She went hard though. You got to give it up to her. I appreciate her for coming on the show. I need y'all to hang in there, wait for the second segment. Appreciate you for coming.
Welcome.
Hang on to the second segment. We'll be back, and it is what it is. Holla back at your boy.